Presiden Prabowo Subianto berulang tahun ke-74 pada Jumat 17 Oktober 2025. Sejumlah tokoh nasional hingga para menteri Kabinet Merah Putih kompak memberikan ucapan selamat. Mulai dari Wakil Presiden Gibran Rakabuming, Mensesneg Prasetyo Hadi, Wakil Ketua DPR Sufmi Dasco Ahmad, Menko Pangan Zulkifli Hasan, Menpora Erick Thohir, hingga Menkomdigi Meutya Hafid, semuanya mendoakan kesehatan dan kekuatan Prabowo dalam memimpin Indonesia. Tak hanya dari Kabinet, Anies Baswedan juga turut menyampaikan doa di akun Instagram resminya. Ucapan selamat pun datang dari berbagai cara unik, termasuk dari staf media pribadi Presiden Prabowo yang membentangkan banner ucapan ulang tahun di kedalaman 18 meter bawah laut di Tulamben, Bali.
Ucapan ulang tahun Pak, buat Pak Prabowo Pak.
Pak Jokowi, mungkin terkait hari ini Pak Prabowo ulang tahun, mungkin ada harapan atau seperti apa begitu untuk Pak Prabowo?
Ya, ucapkan selamat ulang tahun yang ke-74 kepada Bapak Presiden Prabowo Subianto. Semoga beliau selalu diberikan kekuatan dan kesehatan dalam tugas besar memulai pemerintahan dan negara kita.
Mungkin ada saran
ulang tahun
untuk kedepannya.
President of Indonesia, and on Friday, this Friday, you celebrate a birthday. And the president has a sense of humor. Tell us about how you went to Harvard.
No. I know that the Anglo-Saxon community, they're very impressed by Oxford, Cambridge, for those, the British, etc., Commonwealth people. Very impressed hearing the words Oxford and Cambridge. And for the American oriented people, very impressed by Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Cornell. So I understood that. So one day I was in a reception. It was the Queen's birthday, I think. Queen's birthday in Jakarta, and I was there with my deputies. I was chairman of the party, he was the deputy chairman. He graduated from the London School of Economics. So in the reception, all the young British diplomats surrounded him and didn't address me at all, right? So why? Because I keep hearing, oh, Excellency, you graduated from LSE, London, and so my deputy was saying yes. And so then I, wanting some attention, I broke in. I said, actually, I went to Oxford, and they all changed their attention to me. They surrounded me. Oh, you went to, which college did you go to? No. Actually, I went to the bookstore in Oxford. But no, this works every time. It works every time. Yeah. Just now, a few minutes ago, I think there was Ted Oisius. Yeah, Ted was there with William, right? And apparently both of them were graduates of Harvard, right? So they were very proud of it, So they mentioned that, yeah, we are Harvard graduates, same class, 1984, right? He said. So, I didn't want to lose out. So I said, no, I also went to Harvard. So that comes, wait, which college did you go to? I said, no, I went to the bookstore in Harvard. I got him, so it works every time.
Well, you come from a very distinguished family. Your grandfather was a founder of a very notable bank, and your father was a brilliant economist who served Chicago hard, but also was not afraid to try to make a change when he thought one was needed. So, your father helped shape your philosophy. So, given your family background, how did they shape your economic thinking?
I think you are correct, because my grandfather lived in the times of in the big colony of Holland, of Netherlands. My father went to school in Netherlands and graduated there in economics, and so this was the 40s, right? And then, of course, we were in the middle of this great, let us say, upheaval, fighting for our independence. So my father came back. And at that time, to be very frank, most of the leaders of Asia, Africa, the leaders, the elite, were basically socialists. Because at that time, socialism, in fact, even Marxism, communism, they were the movement that really advocated for freedom against the colonialists and the imperialists. I think that's why a lot of Asian, African leaders, movements of the young were practically left-wing, socialist. Many were communists, and my father was also a socialist in his young days. In fact, he was a leader of the Socialist Party of Indonesia. But then, I think what influenced him a lot was when he was by our leaders to New York, to the United Nations, to represent Indonesia, lobby for Indonesia. And he was there, and there he made friendship with a lot of American leaders who basically were business leaders, who were capitalists. But many American capitalists in those days and leaders were also anti-imperialist and anti-colonialism. They were against all this colonial and imperialist movement, and America at that time was in the forefront of actually basically forcing the European colonial powers to decolonize. So I think that's my father got, and he was helped a lot by many American business leaders. He always talked of this Matthew Fox, I think. Matthew B. Fox. It was at that time, I think, the founder of 20th Century Fox, I think, who became a good friend of my father and always helped the Indonesian.
Relate the story first of a company that came in that made you an offer. They thought you couldn't refuse, but you did. And then walk us through quickly the things you are doing now to combat corruption, not just prosecutions, but making sure you have the personnel properly salaried so there's no excuse for payoffs. But first, relate the story about what happened to a particular defense company or a potential provider to get a contract. It was rather brazen.
Yeah. I mean, corruption is very difficult. Corruption, in my opinion, is a disease. Once it reaches stadium 4, like cancer, it's very difficult. But corruption, in my reading of history, corruption will destroy countries, nations, and regimes. So, yeah, I am determined to try to cut down corruption, and then sometimes the only thing is you must give the example, right? So yes, when I became Minister of Defense, the first night I became Minister of Defense, I remember I called in all my relatives, my nephews. I don't know if my brother was in the room, but I said, listen, I'm the Minister of Defense. Yeah, you guys cannot go into the Minister of Defense for any defense contract, right? Understand that. So that's what I tried to do. But of course, after 2-3 months, you know, business people are very creative, right? Especially Indonesian business people. So they will find ways and means. And then one day I found one of my nephew coming to me, right, with a project. I said, oh, come on, you've never been in defense. You don't understand defense, okay? So no, you look for other business. So one time we had a defense project conference in the Ministry of Defense. So my head of logistics reported to me, sir, we have these 250 projects. And let me report to you, project number 1, whatever, 3 companies in the short list. Company A, Company B, Company 3. Oh, by the way, sir, I would like to report in Company C, there's one of your nephews. Write him off. Go down the list. Oh, by the way, sir, in this project, your other nephews. Write him off. I wrote off all my family. And so in the comment, maybe I reported the names. And then they might have passed. So I had difficulty meeting my nephews for 3 or 4 months after that. But yeah, you have to give example. It's not easy, but you have to do it. And then now, the problem for Indonesia, I think, is this. If we can get this done well, I think very fast we will be the surprise of the world. For instance, I came into 2 islands of Indonesia, Bangka and Belitung, and we got a report there were 1,000 illegal tin mines. 1,000 on these 2 islands. And we were losing maybe 80% of our total tin production to these illegal miners and through smuggling. And I said this has to stop. I made a military training program with naval ships, airplanes, helicopters, drones, and we just blocked these 2 islands. No vessel can come in and out without us knowing what's inside. And basically we stopped the smuggling. One sampan tried to go out. We found out there had tin on the sampans. Can you imagine? So, and then we confiscated several cases of tin ingots, rare earth, etc., etc. We calculated that we saved our country about a couple of $2 billion. So next year, the increase of tin production, we hope, will come back to its original position, and we should be earning maybe at least 3 or 4 times what we were earning last year. So this is just one example of what we recovered. We also Of course, I took over from the previous government, handed me over the problem of about, I was reported come to us, sir, out of the millions of hectares of palm oil, about 5,000 are in violation of the law. What? Yes. Oh, no, so not 5,000, 5 million. 5 million hectares are in violation of the law. So I said, I am sworn in to uphold the law. So I told my Attorney General, my state auditing board, carry out investigations. What you find out, if there's a case, terminate their concessions. And that's what we did. I think by as of this month, we have recovered about 3.7 million hectares of plantations that violated the law. One plantation, two plantations, one was 50,000, the other 50,000, violated the law. There was a Supreme Court decision to confiscate those two estates, those plantations. 18 years ago, Supreme Court of Indonesia decision, not carried out for 18 years. The Attorney General came to me and said, what, Supreme Court? Inkrah, so no more ways to appeal. So I said, carry out, execute. Sir, this and that, what? You guys afraid? I ordered my armed forces, you accompany this Attorney General's office, accompany the state auditors, protect them, go in there and confiscate. 100,000 we take over, and no problem.